Hello, welcome to Magic with Melly. It is a Monday here on the channel, and as you can see, the setup is a little bit different. If you remember the early stages of Magic with Melly, you'll recognize this trunk. So this is the very beginnings of Magic with Melly. I used to put my cards in here. I used to read cards from the top of this trunk. And I've upgraded to my desk. It's actually over there, but I think that with my struggle today with myself and my personal healing journey, I just really needed to see myself go back to basics, and some of you are in this energy of needing to return back to basics, back to innocence, back to fresher energy. Today's Melly Monday is leveling up on where loyalties lie. So let's just talk about what's out here on the giant Rider-Waite. We have the Devil card, we have the Seven of Wands, and we have the King of Swords. Now with the Devil card, the title literally says something about where your loyalties lie. And I think that phrasing can be a play on words, because just because someone is loyal to you, that doesn't stop them from being able to lie to you or other means that may be harmful for you if their intentions or their motivations or like such things should shift for them. Sometimes it could be as small of a motive as requiring or needing money, or requiring or needing sex, physical attention, something like that, and then suddenly someone's energy is pulled away. Some of us feel this very sensitively with the devil, because I think that the devil represents, not only addictive behaviors, but maybe sexual energy, any energy in which you feel stuck or stagnant, or you feel locked in your like behavioral patterns that could resonate for some of us in the collective. But it's all about figuring out our placements with loyalty, figuring out our placements with how we behave, how we approach our scenarios, what things are we loyal to, what things are, what people and scenarios and situations cause us to be loyal and others to be loyal as well. Like what, I suppose, conditions or parameters or standards do you have set up in which, everything sort of has its own system. Excuse me, this Devil card is definitely giving me like system vibes. Maybe you were even facing the reality of being in the realms of a corrupt system, and we feel like the world is against us, or that there's all sorts of things working against us, that there's not much in our favor. With this Seven of Wands, it's just resistant energy. I think it starts with yourself. If you feel like the universe is resisting you, you are probably resisting something. It's a little bit of its own like vicious cycle, where if there is something that you is either triggering you or is mirroring back, like the universe mirrors back your occasion, your situation. So energetically you might wonder, why am I this is an example, like why did I get a chill all of a sudden, or why did I sneeze like 5 times? And if you pay a little bit more attention to that and not be so, like, don't neglect these subtle signs, like your body does tell you stuff about what is relative to your soul. Excuse me, just like I'm coughing right now, it may be a little bit of a throat chakra blockage, or it could be a numerous of things with what your body sensationals are telling you. But don't fight those things. if you are resisting some of your energy, some of your emotions, your thoughts, if you do not fully address them, if like, and what they fully mean, it can really cut you in ways, like in your connections, in your relationships, in work, if you don't address these things. Such would be like an intrusive thought. If you had an intrusive thought, excuse me, and then you were to not acknowledge it was an intrusive thought, and it was very intrusive, just one of those things where your brain comes up with it in order for you to be prepared for that scenario, just in case it happens. Not necessarily saying that you're downloading it because it is going to happen, but it is just essentially what you choose to do with it. Seven of Wands. What you choose to do with it, that is what you're being shown. So if you are receiving an intrusive thought or some funny energy, and very randomly at that, it could be where you need to face, like, is this my energy? Is this someone else's energy? Why am I feeling this way? Is it in alignment with what is going on around me? Like, do I feel sad because I have reasons to feel sad? Or do I feel sad because someone else is sad and I'm picking up on their energy? I know that sometimes if you don't realize that you've taken in someone else's energy, you like, it's spreading, right? Someone else's energy was then leaked on, and then if you are unknowing of that, then that leaks onto someone else, and that goes on and that goes on. It may apply to work. I know that a lot of us are loyal in the workspace. You know, it's like work, 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 and I hear I just hear that song by Rihanna, work, 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 work. And I think she says, like, see me doing dirt, 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 or something. I don't know. This whole thing about singing on my channel. I know that exclusively Intuitive sings on her channel. And I think I'm getting to that level of channeling as well, and that level of comfort with my singing. But it's just like, work does cut you deep sometimes. Sometimes some of us in the collective come home complaining, and that's all you do. That's all your energy is complaining. Work, work, work. All you have to do, all you have to talk about is how much work sucked. But it's like, what about your partner? What about your other loyalties, your other placements of commitments? Some of us, there's an imbalance here with how we're approaching the things that we are trying to take seriously, or the things that we normally take seriously. Maybe you've been at work too often and not paying enough attention to your loved ones, or there's a lot of time at home and not enough time making money. It goes, the balance is, the imbalance or balance, when where it's at, is going to be different for everyone. So just take however this reading resonates for you. But the main thing here, I think, behind all this energy of this, the devil energy, the resistant energy, and just like all this energy that cuts deep, maybe some really harsh words were said from somebody that you thought would remain loyal to you, or like, some things just you never really expected from these people that you thought would always be loyal to you. I think that there is just lots of surprises going on with the collective. With the King of Swords, our guard is up. We're definitely ready for war, ready for battle, but it's like, see where your placements are first before you come in ready to, like, take things in and out of your way. Like, yes, like, you're very much right to navigate your own life, but I know that we're going through a Mercury retrograde coming up in the next, actually tomorrow, or coming up astrologically, there's a lot of things happening with the stars and the planets and with eclipses. So it's been advised throughout the community that if you feel overwhelmed or chaos, the best thing would be to, have rest. And, though there is resistance, have this time and place to see where, like, the reflection. Don't, like, see the reflection and immediately take action, but just see the reflection and hold space for it to show you, and then make a move. But we have this Six of Wands. So it's like Seven of Wands, Six of Wands. So going from resistance energy to coming in, reigning victory. Because this card definitely feels celebratory. It feels like a parade. It feels like perusing through, like cruising through, like the town, and everyone's praising you. But we have the Hangman in reverse. It's definitely indicative that because we have this resistance energy, we haven't pressed go on certain things that need to be pressed go on, whether it's going out and taking an action or not taking an action. It's just like certain things, like the way you're navigating it, there's things that we kind of make ourselves wait for, and some things where we rush ourselves through. And so you need to figure out how, if in the scenario you were to place an opposite energy, how, like, what would the result be? Have you ever seen that result before? Yeah, I mean, because that could be, replacing the situation with trust, placing, you may see that, like, okay, this is a unique situation that may kind of relate to the title and why some of you in the collective may have clicked it. And it's like, watching where your loyalties lie is like, yeah, you wonder, like, where are the placements of, like, who and what, and why has my back, like, through and through, my ride or die, like, who has my back through and through and through and through. And it's like, my tangent on that was beginning somewhere, but now it's going through, like, if you want someone who's like a diehard supporter, that's really great and all, but when you make mistakes, they're going to agree with your mistakes as well. And that's like where you hit a wall, you hit a stagnant, like, you don't grow anymore, because your peers allow you to be comfortable in a bad place or a bad space. Like, even if you make mistakes, even if you're bad, well, you get stuck in comfort. Like, yes, like, we have this, like, I hear, like, unconditional love is not unconditional tolerance, but to a degree, yeah, like, you do have to tolerate yourself and tolerate, both your mistakes and when you're winning. But it's like, it's certain things with conditions. It's like, if you want something, it doesn't matter, like, who, what, where, why, how, good context, bad context. If you love something, you will show up and do what it takes. You will just show up and do what it takes. And sometimes it's like this, the fear gets in the way. With the devil, I think the devil instills a lot of fear when it comes, especially when it comes to, like, following our biggest dreams or unlocking, like, our greatest potential. That is when the devil shows up the most, because that's where, like, the devil works in risky ways, where instead of doing his own inherent good, he takes from others' inherent good by trickery or by slavery or by, like, by devilish means. And so the thing here is that, like, it feels like winning for only temporary means, and then when everything comes down to the nitty gritty, how are you really feeling about yourself when it took certain things, betrayals or things, to get some places, or some behavioral things fall apart? because you let the fear come in. Because behaviorally, you're used to certain things or a way of being. And so I think destroying, making any moves right now, making any decisions, it's just, you're holding on to this space, and it's like, do not make any moves unless you feel confidently so, because there is so much yellow here. There is a lot of options here. No matter what you end up choosing, there's always going to be an abundance of options. If you don't pick one option, another one will appear. If you don't pick that option, another one can appear in its place. But that's not to say that, like, that there's always going to be another and another and another. Or vice versa, that there will never be another. I feel like some of us in the collective worry about this energy, about there will never be somebody, there will never be, like somebody like so and so, or like we feel, or like the other way around, where I can get another one like just like them. Like, that's toxic thinking. Like, you have to appreciate and work with what you have while it's in front of you, and grow on what you have while it's in front of you, and do the best out of what's there while it's in front of you. Because there's no guarantees there is something next. Like, you can say the possibility is there, but there's no guarantees. You make it the best, and like, it's hard to phrase that in a way that encompasses everyone's very specific situation. But I think if the big tarot resonated with y'all, let's go into the rest of the cards. And I'm going to keep King of Swords out because he feels like we need to have a talk. So we have King of Swords, back of the deck. Officially back of the deck, I'm keeping it as Queen of Pentacles. And here I'm going to see in this deck is the Game of Thrones tarot. We're going to see what's going on with the collective for the highest good, what they need to know about where their loyalties lie, and relevant information about how to progress with our commitments and things that we are loyal to and serious about. We want to know some messages for the highest good of the collective as far as how to handle our loyalties. We have the King of Spears reverse, which is the King of Wands. The Two of Coins is the Two of Pentacles reverse. This is reverse. We have the Page of Coins, Page of Pentacles reverse. This here is the Seven of Coins, but it's exactly horizontal. So I'm gonna see which way it wants to lay for us. So we want to do upright Seven of Coins. Let's see what else. Give us another message, Spirit, for what's going on in the collective, about what we need to know. We have a Knight of Cups and the Tower reverse. My hand's itchy. So we have the Two of Coins reverse. I think that there is significant imbalance here, but with the Two of Coins reverse, it's just significant imbalance and a need for strength. The card says a Lannister always pays his debts. So some of us in the collective are seeing financial struggle, financial constraints, lots of bills that are due. Two of Coins reversed, imbalance. That could be imbalance in the financial area, but I'm just seeing that because we're talking about coins, so definitely financial struggle in the collective. But Two of Coins reverse, I'm also picking up just imbalance, maybe emotionally or within your life cycle. Like right now, there is just some chaos that is disrupting the collective. Whatever it is specifically, we have the King of Wands reverse. It's caused by whoever this King of Wands is supposed to be. Okay, King of Wands, it's interesting because the character depicted on the King of Spears is Ned Stark. I believe this is Ned Stark. Let me look. Yeah, it's the Ned Stark character. And so if you have seen the first, I think it's like the first season or the second season, and I hope this isn't spoilers or anything, but it's like literally, I think some of us feel like we're running around with our head cut off, or being overruled. Like there's just this energy of which we feel lied to, and our decisions regarding the situation were manipulated because either the information were withheld, or um, it was withheld with like convenient intention, or it was to some degree like it was formed as a lie, or it was like a half truth, like you didn't have all the information. Henceforth I said that there is missing information, withheld information, and that's with this page of coins. Okay, page of coins, I don't mean any harm. I'm a disabled individual. I am one in the community of acceptance of all, self acceptance and self love overall, but trying to be welcoming and loving towards all, but uh, those with good intentions and stuff. But sometimes we fall short, and I'm saying that in well mannered meaning, trying well meaning. Um, Tyrion Lannister is short, and so I'm wondering if some of this communication, or some of the grounding, some of the energy surrounding this King of Wands person, whoever this King of Wands is to you, they like literally are falling short. Maybe they are short. Maybe they are someone who brings out Lannister type vibes, because we have this with the Lannister and Tyrion Lannister, but also I think just stemming or budding. I'm hearing blossoming away from constructs that like worked in your family previously, and turning to your own set of ideals, set of morals, set of just everything that is your own little world, because we have Seven of Coins. Seven of Coins is just picking and choosing what you are going to grow, the projects that you're going to do, the hobbies that you're going to practice, the events and places that you'll go to, the seeds that you'll plant, and wait for the things to flourish from those seeds. We have Knight of Cups. There is so much to protect as far as things that make you happy, and places and people that you can return to that have always made you happy, that aren't treating you like this King of Wands person is. Because this King of Wands, I'm definitely feeling like they make you want to like cut your head off, or because like you can't stop thinking, or to some degree it's just like this mess with the Tower reverse as overall back of the deck energy. The whole thing is a mess with trust, seeing where your loyalties lie, because it's like trust, yeah. Even if you are loyal in a situation, everyone is kind of fending for themselves. So if for some reason there is a fire under someone's ass, their loyalty to you can change, just to save their life, or just to like, because they have to put themselves first. And so you have to kind of consider that when it comes to your own safety, or when it comes to continuing cycles, or continuing friendships, continuing connections. Is this person continuing to be good for me, or are they turning into a bad situation nowadays? Because are they now not getting what they want, or are they getting what they want? Like, decipher, are they getting what they want? And when they're getting what they want, are they happy? Yes, that is normal, of course. But when they don't get what they want, how are they reacting? Are they, yes, it's normal to be upset, but are they throwing a hissy fit? Are they causing drama? Are they harming others? Are they, what are they doing when they don't get what they want? Are they like fully see that in your situations, fully see yourself in your situations, When you don't get what you want, what do? Some of us binge drink, some of us binge smoke, some of us go out and have a lot of sex, to be honest. Some of us in the collective, not all. Some of us isolate, some of us socialize too much, some of us burn out, some of us work out too much, some of us work too much, some of us study too much, don't study enough. Um, when you are having struggle, the hardest thing and probably the strongest thing you'll do as well is, show that compassion and love for yourself. It could be hard to take yourself out of that place if you've been in that place for a long time, but the more that you take yourself out of a dark place and show yourself light, the more your light can shine by natural means. But that's gonna be that for the pre-shuffled. Sorry, I'm gonna get into pre-shuffled oracles. That was the Game of Thrones tarot. So we have freedom. You're free to do what you choose. Crystals. Your connection to crystals and gemstones is a channel for healing energy. We have author. You have a book inside you that wishes to be expressed. Make the time to write it. This next card says sensitivity. You're becoming more sensitive and need to make changes accordingly. It says music. Your connection to music is healing for yourself and others. And the next part says teaching. You inspire young people to learn. And speaker. Your life purpose involves your skills of oration. And lastly, it says oracle cards. You are able to discern other answers and guidance for yourself and others. So these are life purpose cards. Now, the exact phrasing doesn't have to specifically call to you, but if it does, that's amazing. But I think that there is some subtle messages in here with the whole thing being read together, as well as, certain things being like trigger synchronicities or extra validations or signs for, people. Just such would be like teachers or musical teachers or empaths, anybody who is a writer, anybody who does crystal healing or is into crystals, loves nature, loves cards, oracle cards. If you do any sort of public speaking or socializing, or where you are, a public figure on social media, all of these things may show you or bring you towards this sense of freedom. And it's like in little ways, right? Music makes us feel a little bit more free. It frees our emotions. It frees some of the words that we have in our hearts and in our mind space. It's like formed into music, and it just flows. We can sing and dance to it. It's healing. We're and it's there. I think freedom too is like this thing of, it's like a kingdom of freeness where you can, like, wherever you go, you're free to do what you want. Freedom, you're free to do what you want. And it's like you can share that in a community, and that would be, where you can find that freedom is community. I think freedom is that place where you can be free. I think that's like the phrasing of why it's called freedom, because it's like kingdom, like that place where a king lives. And it's like this place where you can feel free. And so really my phrasing on freedom is just that community where you feel free. And it may be where you tap into crystal healing, or that's where you can, find how to rebalance yourself. There's chakra balances, using crystals to realign how your chakras are operating on an energetic level. How are you doing? Are you in balance? Are you balanced? Do you know? You can get that checked out. You can book a service with Magic with Melly, or you could, figure out, how crystals fit in your life. You can figure out how writing fits in your life, how music fits in your life, because you are really sensitive. A lot of these artistic expressions or ways that people express to you, you take it very, very sensitively, and that's not a bad thing. It's a powerful tool, and you can use it to teach others. You can speak on it. You can speak through the means of the cards. If you speak, you know, if you are an empath and you speak intuitively a lot, it could be hard for you to speak in certain scenarios or situations because, like, without oracle cards, because a lot of people, a lot of empaths speak on shadow work, and shadow work is hard to receive. It's mostly not taken well, especially when the client or individual is not ready. And so sometimes oracle cards is like that wonderful medium of, yes, this is validating exactly what I'm saying. Like, there is no other way that I can, like, be saying it, and then as I'm shuffling, the same exact card that, like, resonates with that or indicates that comes out. And it's like, you can't make that up when you have the shuffling happen in a live scenario. Sometimes it's just this guidance for yourself, and you need the double validation, the extra validation, or even just to remove negativity when you are speaking on lessons. That it could be just having your lesson plans set up ahead of time, or your oracle cards or card readings set up ahead of time, so you're not so thrown off energetically, be having more preparation when it comes to your workspace with life purpose. I think it's essentially just this push from spirit saying it doesn't have to be all crystals, all writing, all music. It doesn't have to be all teaching. It doesn't have to be a public speaking job. It doesn't have to be whatever construct or structure that was taught to you. You could be as free to pick whatever you want, whenever you want, and you could have I'm picking this for my mom or my parents or my family or my partner, and then I'm also picking these things for myself, and recognizing the balance between, like, yes, I'm putting this much loyalty here for myself and so much loyalty and energy here for my partner, because I need to be fair to them as well. And, you know, like, sometimes new events cause imbalance, and it doesn't have to be a bad event for an imbalance. It could be a good event as well, where if you just don't know what to do energetically, or just don't, you know, you need the clarity or you need the healing, you need something. If you don't know what it is, but you know that there's something off, you know, just because there's a new person or new situation, some sort of change, something changes, so it's going to make other things change. And so if you sense this with yourself, consider where to shift energy to bring back balance. You know, there's a new person, so naturally the people you were paying attention to before don't get as much attention as they had before, because it's divided, or more of it's going to the new person, you know, and you can tell, it's felt, people can feel that. And so sensitivity, I think, just, you're free to, instead of worrying about your person or worrying about, you know, loyalty and trust and all these things, just be free and do what's best for you during this time and space. And then, you know, the oracle cards can validate something for you, or time will tell. But if this is about a person, you deserve love. You are lovable. Finances and career. I was talking about finances before, okay? Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So it's a blockage for some. It could be just waiting, a time of just waiting for maybe a paycheck to come in, waiting for your savings to add up to make that move, literally a move, or make a move. It could be a flirtatious move or a physical move from location to location. But this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. So this could be the one card. It is kind of a trigger card, right? We definitely like to hear this could be the one. But I think this is just indicative that it could be anyone in your personal circle that could be a suitor, really. The one is just who you end up wanting to choose every day, who you commit to choosing every day. And that is first and foremost should be you. You wake up to yourself every day. You go to sleep to yourself every day. You're with yourself every single minute, hour, second, blah of the day. Day in, day out, weeks in, weeks out, years and years and years as they pass. This could be the one. You are the one. But if you want a partner, you choose them every day as in addition to you. It's just that you come first and they are secondary. Um, and they are, part of the abundance in your life. But I think this is all about, like, you've already met the partner that you are looking for. It's just a matter of seeing them as a suitor, seeing them and being like, okay, I'm looking for these things. Do they check this off? Do they check this off? Do they check this off? Maybe these life purpose cards are explaining the type of person that you should be looking for, or that you are this type of person. Take however that resonates. I think that I'm just trying to reach as many as I can. But continuing on, we have worry in reverse. Like I was saying, some of us in the collective, rather than worrying about what this person's doing or not doing and how they're acting, just show love to them. Simply show love whenever you're around them. Don't worry about anything else. Don't do any, don't mistrust them when you're not around them. And just trust yourself and trust the hobbies and loving things that you do. If you're meant to see something or experience it, you will. If that person is doing you dirty, you will see what you need to see, but it's also a matter of, are you going to do what you need to do after you've seen what you've seen? Some of us whole ass see text messages. Some of us whole ass see cheating. Some of us whole ass go through so much stuff. We see it right before our eyes, but we turn a blind eye because it's convenient or it's easier or you feel stuck. You do this. With this whole worry, like, don't worry until you see it. Sometimes the worrying is what manifests it later on. All this time worrying about, oh, is my partner cheating? Oh, is this? Oh, is this? Oh, is this? Oh, is this? You're projecting it on that person, right? And then that person goes, well, if they think I'm cheating, I might as well do the thing. And them thinking in that toxic, that's a toxic way of thinking. If they think, well, if they do it, then that's okay for me to do. No. Your actions are your own. Just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean you have to. But you're choosing to do it, so that makes you, and so, like, that's the thing. It's like, but that's like a potential possibility with some of these manifestings of manifesting thoughts of worry. When you sit and you're like ruminating and believing that someone would do that to you, you then eventually actually believe it. Excuse me. I have a throat chakra blockage right now. But it's totally true. Worry about the stories you tell yourself. Do you want to believe what you're telling yourself? Have you seen what you're telling yourself? Ask yourself this. And this card says, I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. It's like it doesn't thinking about it, worrying, it truly doesn't change an outcome. I think that's why I got the throat chakra blockage, because it's like what causes something to, like, the projection, and that's like the ultimate extreme, where it's like if you worry to a point where you do nothing, this person, like, it's all about like how there's like missing pieces in communication and information with with the worrying. This person could be worrying and worrying and worrying, and then it manifests as the opposite energy of what you want. And so then it changes the manifestation. Not necessarily, because the whole reason why it says it doesn't change an outcome is because what's meant to be will be, no matter how much you worry or don't worry or do or don't do. What's meant to be yours will be yours. It's just a matter of how you navigate that. If you spend so much time worrying, worrying's going to happen regardless. It's just how much time and space you put on it can remove from the situation. Self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. This next card says health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. So a lot of the things that we worry about, it mostly stems from where our self-esteem, our levels of self-esteem, where they're at. Because those gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Because some of us, we create more problems for ourselves when our self-esteems are low. When we are insecure, when we're not confident, we tend to test others based off of how our self-esteem is. And then, like, we don't realize we're operating off of an internal negative. And when you are having this internal negative and then you are testing your loved ones don't know about your internal negative. They're just approaching this test not knowing they are being tested, somehow failing the test because they didn't validate whatever they didn't know was going on. And then now you're feeling like crap because there was like this weird sensitivity with your self-esteem. You have to find the courage to build your own self up, to talk your own self up, to say the things that you want to hear from somebody else. You're not hearing it or saying it to yourself, yet you want someone else to do it and say it for you. And it's like, that's the big worry here, is your self-esteem. What's going on with that? Are you seeing yourself causing more problems because of where your self-esteem is? Have the courage to ask for help. Go to therapy. Talk about things. Raise your vibration. Raise your self-confidence. Pay attention to your health, your mental health, especially your mental health, but also just the not necessarily on like how your physique looks, but just how your body feels. When you go up a flight of stairs, are you out of breath? And if you do, maybe put it more in your daily life to go up and down a flight of stairs at least once or twice in a day or in a week. At least more regularly than had been before, because it is not very healthy to have just one flight of stairs and you're out of breath. What if you were on the 5th floor or the 10th floor or some high floor of the building and an emergency were to occur? We have to have some time and space cut out for disabled people who are actually incapable of taking themselves downstairs and stuff. We need to save people for that. And, kind of bring more time and space and love for the people who are actually needy. Some of us have excuses for ourselves that don't really make sense with our physical well-beings. We have friendship. Sometimes when it comes to being more active, you need a friend who will go with you. And that is understandable. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. That it could be a matter of they introduce you to something new. They introduce you to something that you're going to end up doing more often for the rest of your life, or this thing that you guys do special together, or it's your support system, how you're going to get through the days, how you're going to get through your bad health, is these friendships that you have. Improving health. We have improving health. Choose a new direction. Some of us are going to see some harsh truths with what's going on with our commitments and loyalties here. Choosing a new direction is like, you may find that some of these people, you know, where you're figuring out where your loyalties lie, maybe they have lied to you. Maybe you did pick that up and you have been questioning it, and now this is your indication you should take a new route, that, you know, you don't deserve loyalty that would lie to you or turn on you. Choose a new direction. It could be as well just a job change. A new direction could be energetically shifting from a bad mental space to a nicer mental space. Compromise, just in partnerships, it is compromise. Are you willing to let down after that argument, or shift from, it's now's not the right time to have an argument, or now's not the right time to put in a promotion, or make that strategic move or have that conversation. So the compromise is, we're gonna have that conversation later. We can work on these things right now. We can still come together right now and like grow these other areas in our life, and then work on this later. Because there's always an abundance of what you could be doing or where you could be. Like, there's a whole world, there's a whole universe at our service. Take action, get more information, and know. Some of us, once you find that you have more information, you'll realize that the answer for yourself is no. With some of these, I'm hearing that King of Wands, that you're finding out, the King of Wands is not for me. Especially when you get enough information. I think what has kept the connection going is not knowing enough information. And that's where, with this, like, being surprised by, like, leveling up on where your loyalties lie, right? Like, if you found that someone that you've been loyal to had lied to you, you need to level up from that. You need to upgrade from that. Like, you need to take that out of your life. Like, someone who has lied to you but without even good reason, or even valid reason, or just like, if they would lie to you, like, what is their purpose or reason why? Is it protective? Is it loving? Is it malicious? Was there malintent? Like, was it manipulative? Was it convenient for them? Did they consider you when you were, when, like, your placement in it, how you would feel by being lied to, or having not knowing certain things? Like, if information would directly affect someone, they have a right to know about it. Just, that's that. So the honesty with that, take action on what you need, what's missing in what you need to figure out with, like, are you loyal to me? Like, how can you figure out whether or not that person is loyal to you? It's going to be unique conversations for everyone, because there's going to be small details of, like, what loyalty even means. Because recently for me, it was a matter of seeing me yes or no, and seeing me or wanting me or loving me. That if the question was a yes or no, the information I needed was a yes or no. Maybe you need to ask that question, yes or no, and maybe your person's response is a no, or maybe your answer is a no. And a no isn't always a bad reply. A no could be just exactly the answer that you wanted for some of us in the collective. So just be mindful of, what you want, what and then what you are receiving, and if that's in alignment, and if you can make a compromise to bring abundance, so you can bring what you want into the situation, but also what your partner wants. Moving forward, these were channeled messages from White Rose Guidance. How can I ever pay you back? So with the whole improving health card, I'm just high key getting the sense that someone who's been targeting you or bullying you or giving you a hard time, they feel so bad about that and they want to pay you back, either with gifts or energetically, even apologizing, even maybe some of us um, have bills that are due, or someone, like they did a lot and they just feel like they need to do something to make up for it. And so that's like literally the question there. You turn loose heaven within me. Earlier when this card came up, I was thinking like you could turn loose hell within someone too. And it's like, because heaven and hell exist as a duality. So as much as you create heaven for this person, or them for you, it could be hell the other way around. So be mindful of that. When you do have feelings for someone, you can feel both things, and that it's special. It's important when you feel it really intensely. And the mature or the wonderful or crazy or beautiful, like magnetic electric thing to do is being in control of it, and showing romance, being love, being now, being future, being past, all at once. But this card says, I want to travel the world with you. So some of us haven't gotten to do this with our partners, that we just really fantasize this energy. We really want to have this with our people, but we don't really feel like it's a possibility. And we have that I am battling my demons right now, because there's a lot that's just been disrupted, a lot of tower moments, a lot of depression, even like literally demons, just like I've started the reading with like intrusive thoughts, and just awful targeting and things that are occurring, whether it's targeting bullying on you or targeting bullying from your person. It's just like, this is what's going on in the collective, that there is very chaos energy, where it's good, bad, both, good, bad, both, good, bad, both, bad, 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 good, 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 like, and like just like a slingshot, or like being like whipped around. We have the cards, I know that the fire that burns in you is the same that burns in me. So some of us have very similar visions, goals, dreams about being artistic, or having like the way that you want to set up your family structure, like just lots of things that you feel passionately about. You wonder, do these things line up between me and this person? Am I going to find someone who will line up for me in some of these ways that I'm seeing or not seeing in this person? You are the song of my heart. Some of us are singers, some of us are musicians, some of us have songs that are dedicated to our loved ones, and maybe this is a special message for showing where your loyalties lie, showing your person that you love them, or that you're here for them, by singing them a song, or sharing, dedicating a song to them. Even if you are not a musician and, can't or won't or don't perform, you could still make a dedication, and it's still going to be special because your intention is infused with it. My love for you is without bounds. So having no boundaries on love is an amazing thing. Like, the only thing you should have boundaries with is hate and being an awful person. Otherwise, if you have love to give, show it. Just make sure that you are seeing balance, because you know the overgiving, then you'll feel like a lack of receiving. You know, that's how imbalance would kind of screw you emotionally over. But as far as wanting to express love, you know, like, only have boundary with it if you know that it will bring you to overgiving or some sort of state in which you are going to become toxic and, you know, have expectations. Because I think that's just the thing with giving with expectations, is like, the thing is, like, you're giving, you shouldn't think you're going to get something back, otherwise you would just be receiving. If you wanted to receive, then all you have to do is ask. All you have to do is, like, make it known. Forgive me, I have never felt this way before. I do not know how to act. So some of us just don't know what to do, don't know how to ask for what you want, don't know how to make it known for what you want. And this is a learning, you know, journey. It's all part of, you know, everyone's where they are at in their unique journeys, and you accept or deny sharing experiences with one another. And this person or you is, you know, Spirit is mentioning that in the scenario, that in the situation, it's really important to actively forgive and know that people make mistakes. You know, that it's a natural thing to have mistakes occur. The thing that would be detrimental or gruesome, just awful to have occur, is someone who makes mistakes and never learns from them. But, you know, like, if someone makes multiple mistakes, sure, but if they make that mistake, like, less intensely the next time, you know, or less as often the next few times, you know that they're still making progress. Even if it's small progress, it's still progress, you know, even though it may not look like it to all, but it's like, that's one of those things where you know what progress looks like to you and no one else does. And that's this thing with figuring out where loyalties lie. Your loyalty has to lie mostly with yourself. Because if you place loyalty on another, like, I think you are very, you know, vulnerable to, if they lie, you have not a very clear way of knowing. Like, intuition is wonderful, advice, friends, family, loved ones, stalking, all these, like, crazy means of trying to figure things out. Great, but if someone lies to you, only that person will know that they lied to you fully, unless they express, yeah, I'm a liar, I said that, you know. But, like, that kind of information can be withheld by the liar themselves. A liar can say, I am not a liar, very easily. You know, like, that's what I'm saying, is just, like, making sure that, yes, protect yes, protect your energy. Yes, go out on your journeys. Yes, work on yourself. Yes, you know, fight for what you believe in. Have that communication. But don't, you know, and, like, I think there are going to be times where you will feel very, very misunderstood. That you feel you're making progress and you're doing all these things, and that nobody sees it. It's going to be this energy of feeling this way. But you're also going to soon after feel very celebrated, because, you know, where you one feel lonely, there are other times where you can feel not lonely at all. And so when you can carry yourself through these times of being misunderstood, there will be times where you will feel like you will be shown energy where you are where you are understood, where you are celebrated, that there is the other energy waiting to be experienced once you process and release the initial energy as well. Like, it's just like the energies, the feelings, They are there to show you that there's an action to be taken, um, or something to be paying attention to, right? You don't feel good, so what do you do when you don't feel good? Try and make yourself feel better, or fill in the blank and see if those choices are healthy. When you make healthy choices, you will feel healthy, and when you feel healthy, you can do more, you can be more, you can feel more, you can, and that's where a lot of this energy, I think this misunderstood energy, when you have this energy, rather than, oh my god, why don't they get me, why don't they get me, it's just like, but you get you. They don't get you, so don't wrap your mind around like why not, and why you, like, why it's so hard for them to understand you, like, being really complex, or having misunderstood energies. It just means that you're creating something that's not been seen before, or that you are something that hasn't been seen before, that you're unique, that you are something to be cherished and valued, and that this is the time that you're meant to spend by yourself, because that is like this thing where your energy needs to be protected. It's so that you could see how different you are, and how much that needs to be like its own thing. Like, we definitely separate very highly valuable things from the community, or from other things. Like, in a bundle of diamonds, if there's one giant one, we're going to put the one giant one in a little safety locking case, glass case, to be viewed at, like, over here, so it's protected, and we can make sure we know it's there at all times. And like, it's like one of those things where if you are very valuable, you will be poked and pried at and looked at, and all these things. And that's not a bad thing. Success is going to warrant lots of energies. We have Two of Pentacles, though. It's going to be interesting to practice with balance, though, where you recognize, yes, I'm here, but there's also going to be this energy too. It's like, if I'm awesome, there's going to be haters. If I'm a hater, it's because that person's awesome and I wish I was. There's always going to be like a balancing act here with how your loyalties are placed, though. I think the importance is being in a positive state. I think we have, because we have the Tarot of Oppositions here, and we have, positive context and a negative context of the same card. I really feel it wavy throughout this reading, because it's bright, then it feels, bright, hopeful, dark, misunderstood, valued, celebratory. I just feel, yeah, we just get a little bit of a wavy energy, and that is normal. That is absolutely normal. I think some of us in the collective need to hear that what we go through is normal. Having relationships begin and end, people come and go, live and die, laugh and cry, smile, evil eye, sleeping, partying, staying in, going out. When you think about where you will let your soul rest, where you will let your soul lie in the day-to-day, in your daily, where do you find your soul, like, navigating to? On a daily basis, I find myself singing. So then I realize that my loyalty lies with music. By natural causes. And would I lie surrounding music? No. I think, though, it could be situationally. If someone asked me my opinion about someone, maybe I didn't like them, but I work with them, I would be objective. Like, I wouldn't, it would be one of those things where, like, the truth would come out, but it wouldn't be where it's personal. I think that's where some of us may have, like, need to differentiate some of our, how we apply ourselves with responsibilities. uh like I said, in the entirety, in the entirety of this reading, where your loyalties lie, how you commit, in the workplace or in your love life. The On the note of ending the reading, I think it's just seeing where your place, like what people do naturally, observing what people do naturally, and assessing whether or not their loyalty lies anywhere near you. And if it doesn't, then more so often than not, they're probably lying to you to some degree, or that their capability of doing so is not so, like, it's weighted differently than someone who, is measured differently with balance and how they're placing themselves. Like, because if they're not very loyal to you and they're loyal to someone else, like, their capability, their capacity for being able to lie to you is larger than someone who is loyal to you. And so just be mindful of how certain things can be shifted or manipulated. Someone can place a bet, someone can place, if, like, or a wager or whatever, or some sort of, if you do this, I will do this kind of notion. And, some of us apply this to our siblings or parents, do this. Whatever it is, really figure out this thing on natural loyalty. You don't want to force someone to love you or be there for you or see the situation how you see it, or, you don't want to force someone to do something that they don't want to. Like, ultimately, if someone wants to, they will. And so, just like if you want to, you will. And yeah, the reach here in the collective is very chaotic, and so hopefully I read everyone's situation in a well enough manner in which it's helpful. Today was a struggle for me, so I'm definitely just picking that up, not only in my personal life, but through the cards and through your guys' experiences. I just definitely see it reflected in the imagery, and, like, how back and forth some of the messages were, and how, like, very much it says you should work on your health. And it's like, the strength to push through in some areas, I feel it. And to end this reading, I'm here for you. I know that I'm a person who is reading cards from probably miles and miles away, but I came to this reading because you needed the chaos to be streamlined somehow, some way. And with that being said, I hope this streamline made some sort of sense in your story. And if it doesn't, maybe a different reading is for you. Shifting our focus to ourselves, we realize that we can be loyal to many things and balance and rebalance with new things, old things coming and going. And being mindful that lying is a protective measure. It's a tool. How much someone uses it is on that individual. Whether or not that person uses it is on that individual. Who that person uses it around is on that individual. You know, like, just place your judgments and place yourself accordingly. And when I say accordingly, I very much mean according to you. You know, get the information you need. Get the validation that you need. Get the experience that you need. Get the emotional control that you need. Move through the waves, like, ride it. Don't be a surfer who's, like, lost their board, you know, like, be one with the objects related or required. Such would be if you're worrying about a connection, show up in the connection. If you're worried about work, show up at work. But when you're not at work, don't let things leak. You know, like, let loose on where your loyalties lie. I think just loosen up on how tightly you hang on to things from one thing to another. Because when you're at work, and you hang on so tight to work, you're still in the work mode that when you come home, you're, like, still talking about work. Then sometimes you're at home and you're relaxing and you're having fun, and you're at work and you're talking about your personal life. Some of these things don't need to be overlapped, or shouldn't be overlapped. Keep work at work, keep personal life personal, and then if there's going to be a crossover, place boundaries so you don't burn out. I think that this card is burnout a little bit with Seven of Cups, of just, like, there's so much abundance, or so much options to choose, like, routes to go. You get, like, burned out by just, like, you start so many projects, or, you know, like, that's kind of this energy here also, with not, in addition to sometimes feeling misunderstood, that some, you know, maybe some option that you chose, some hobby that you do, or way that you express yourself, it is highly misunderstood, and then you feel really lonely. But like I said, a lot of us get this targeting. We shine so bright that we just can't help but have a lot of eyes on us. When we have a lot of eyes on us, we just know that it's because we are of importance, we are of value. We do get the opposite end of it too. And just sense that balance, sense groundedness. Maybe even try and do a handstand, or a headstand, or do a forward fold, or a forward bend, like a halfway bend or something, like bending at your hips, and like just looking at the world upside down in a different perspective. Like, because this imbalance earlier in the reading, I'm seeing the Two of Pentacles being depicted as just this fool, like, doing a handstand. So it could be just that placement of turn things upside down, so that, or turn things in an opposite direction, so you can see, like, what the other way or what the what the other scenario would have done. Sometimes you need to see that to have clarity. Sometimes you need to see, like, what would it be like if I was with somebody else? What would it be like if I was at a different job? If you have that what if, show yourself that. Show yourself the new perspective. Show yourself a different direction. And then it's okay if you change your mind and you go back to that person or the job and you go, I made a mistake. I actually really love it here. I actually really like it here. If you're meant to be at that job, meant to be with that person, and you're coming back saying, like, I'm meant to be here, I think I wholeheartedly believe that. It's then, like, if they wholeheartedly believe it. If they, it could be a yes or a no. The more information, it's just like you're gonna find out if it's a yes or no. Just because there's a no card doesn't mean it's a no for the question at hand right now or what we're talking about, because this no came out earlier. But what I'm saying is, with the yes or no, that sometimes a no could be just the answer that you wanted. Because I was just channeling that rejection is just a rush forward of the right situation. Rejection means it's not this situation, but now that we know it's not this situation, we can now know it's a different situation. We can make that happen. But this reading was extra long and very late. I know that I teased on my Instagram that I was going to come on earlier in the day, but as my life continues and I'm living it, I'm allowed to have a bad day. I'm allowed to have a bad mood take up some time and space. And it did, but I also don't let it take me down forever. I have goals, I have plans, I still want to meet them, and I still want to help you. So here's all this chaotic energy read as well as I can possibly do tonight. And this is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for being in this reading. And in future readings, should I find you, like, subscribe, comment, so that you can add to the collective. I could pick up on your energy and read you better if you make yourself known in the collective. So don't forget to do that. If you feel like you resonate in my channel, definitely make it known. And that will definitely, I think, help make your readings clearer. But with all being said and done now, goodbye. I will see you guys on Thursday here on Magic with Melly and on the Instagram, and I'll see you throughout the week. Hopefully some other progress with my certifications and TikTok and my special for May. So if you'd like to book, make sure you DM Magic with Melly and let me know about services you want to work with, and I'll communicate with you on that note. And you guys have a good night, good morning, or good afternoon wherever you are finding this. Take care. I hope that you have the clarity about that King of Wands, what to do about that King of Wands, all right? Because we want, the Tower moments behind us. So however you're viewing your King of Wands in your life, the perspective is shifting, things are changing, but for the better. And you choose better. That starts with you. Understanding you. Placing yourself where it's best for you. Okay, goodbye now.